Ready? I call this meeting to order. We'll have a moment of silence with a prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Father, we come to you today, ask for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us engage in meaningful discussion and ready us to make every moment count. We ask these things in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of constituting the accuracy of written minutes. Tapes are reused, eliminating recorded records of these proceedings. The first item is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held April 16, 2020, with a correction to the payroll direct deposit numbers. The numbers should be 6018648 through 6019047, and noting changes in the terms for the reappointments to the Children and Youth Advisory Board and also the Redevelopment Authority reappointment.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Do we have any guests concerning county business? None. Move on to the executive session. We did have an executive session Wednesday, April 22nd at 1:30 p.m. and that was for personal reasons, or personnel reasons.
Next item are the department reports for the budget transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
There are no supplemental appropriations. Expenditures, approval of check numbers 212698 through 212803 for expenditures to the general fund clearing account, totaling $614,664.19.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
The treasurer's report.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
The personnel report.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Correspondence was received as listed. Copies will be made available to the press upon request. Advertising. For approval, authorize the advertising for the Correctional Facility Water System Control Building Equipment and Piping Rehabilitation Project.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
A bid award. Recommendation was received from the purchasing manager to award the contract to the lowest bidder, County Waste LLC of Clifton Park, New York, for refuse collection and single-stream recycling at their bid price of $79,421.68 for a 3-year term.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Bid award extension. Request was received from the Director of Planning and Development to extend the recommendation to award or reject the bids opened on April 9th, 2020 for the Community Development Block Grant Project to April 30th, 2020, Franklin Township Water Sewer Improvements fiscal year 2015-2016, Drainage Improvements Phase 1, Red Hill Road.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Children and Youth for approval and execution. Fiscal year 2019-2020 purchase a service agreement with the County of Northampton of Easton, Pennsylvania as per the attached rates.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Emergency shelter for ratification. The electronic execution of the Second Amendment to the 2018 Emergency Solutions Grant, agreement number 70338, from the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development This amendment formally extends said grant agreement from April 30th, 2020 to September 1st, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
ESG program for adoption, the resolution authorizing the filing of the application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for the 2020 Emergency Shelter Grant in the amount of $90,000. The grant will be shared between the Carbon County Action Committee for Human Services and Family Promise. Each entity is providing their equal match dollars. Funds will be utilized for rapid rehousing, homeless prevention, and emergency shelter assistance.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
For adoption, the Eastern Pennsylvania Continuum of Care Written Standards as adopted and revised October 21st, 2019, and the Limited English Proficiency Plan, Language Access Plan for 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
A union agreement for ratification. Execution of the memorandum of agreement between the County of Carbon and Residual Unit and the Court-Appointed Professional Employees Bargaining Unit, ASME AFL-CIO District Council 87. This memorandum of agreement addresses the concerns of the members regarding benefit time, establishes hazard pay for officers of adult probation, juvenile probation, and the LPNs at the correctional facility. Hazard pay of $10 per documented and verified visit with clients for the probation departments, and $10 per documented and verified intake for the LPNs. The county will review the need for hazard pay every 2 weeks. The agreement is effective April 20th, 2020 through December 31st, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Solicitors report.
Thank you. Communications for approval and execution. A request received from the Communications Director for a proposal from Radio Maintenance, Inc. of Reading for the Catalyst Extended Warranty Service plus hardware replacement, software, and implementation of THI design with a total cost of $10,855.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Correction Facility for approval and execution. A memorandum of understanding with Pinebrook Family Answers of Allentown. Specific to the program being proposed for the Bureau of Justice Assistance under the grant application for funding to support a jail-based project that will promote implementation of effective reentry programs and practices. This is a non-matching grant with proposed no cost to the county.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Nothing additional.
Any further business? Commissioners' reports, Mr. Honor?
I think I'm gonna start off with elections. I do have a report here from the director, Lisa Dart. And in the prior weeks, she has processed over 1,000 mail-ins that have already come. And there are some people that sent in and they're actually not registered. So make sure if you send in that you want the ballot, that you register before you send that in. I think she has in here, she had 102 of them that were sent in that were not registered. And there's, and I'll read this to you. It says, please be advised the election office is processing all applications as they come in. An automatic email will be generated for those who apply online. Any voters who apply for an absentee or mail-in ballot prior to today will receive their ballot within the next 2 weeks. Thank you for your presence. And this next thing, what she has in here is an issue what we're going to have to deal with. And she just says, I just want to make the voters aware that there may be a possibility of consolidating poll places for the upcoming primary, which is going to be held June 2nd, 2020. Each voter affected will receive notification in the mail to the primary. This will notify them as well as where their temporary polling places will be moved. I'm going on to the food banks. Our food banks have, a lot of them have tripled on the amount of families that they have been serving. And what the idea, what we come up with, we're probably going to have a county-wide food bank, which is separate from the Shepherd House. And I have it broken down that we would do the Lehighton area, Jim Thorpe area, Palmerton area, Panther Valley area, and the Weatherly area, which would include Trescott and Beaver Meadows. This would probably be set up on a Saturday, a Friday and a Saturday, which probably will start next week if the food is available. And this is open to anybody that wants to come. If I know a lot of people are not getting their checks and they're saying they're not getting the food, but on the good turn of it, I got some reports that people that did get their stimulus money actually turned it over to the food banks. So there are people out there that are helping. We're getting a lot of volunteers. And on to the public itself. I mean, I think I don't want to speak totally for all the commissioners, but we all see what's going on here. And for myself, I turned my carpenter's pants in for a tie when I changed jobs. And I think we all see what's happening throughout our county. But as commissioners here, we still have to keep the county moving. And we see their hardships, and we're trying to help them out whatever we can. And, you know, we still have to work on the aging. We still have to work on children and youth, the courts, and the prisons. You know, sometimes people look at the prison, well, we eliminated some of the people in the prison, but we still have to keep, you know, verifying where they're at. So it's not like we're saving any cost. And on to, I've been getting a lot of calls about the taxes, and in that House Bill 841, I mean, I think we're heading in the direction that we're probably, and I can't say this for sure, we're going to work on that will eliminate the penalty phase of it, which will help them out, which will help the taxpayers out. But as for the 2% discount rate, a lot of them come out of escrow, and that's paid automatically anyway. So that's not something that I think we can really get into, because we'd have to call every bank up if they'd be all the way across the United States and verify that. But the best thing would be to get rid of that. And if we do that, we do actually make a loss to the county. And going back to it again, we see where you're coming from. The county is sort of in the same boat. We haven't gotten any funding, and it's costing us for masks, Lysol, whatever's involved in this. And through this whole ordeal, this could cost us $500,000 till it's over. So we see where you're at, and you're welcome to call here. And if we can point you in the right direction to help you, we're happy to do that. And thank you.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yeah, and adding on to what Commissioner Arner had just last mentioned, we will have challenges with our budget. We can expect reductions in local share agreement funding, right? Casinos are closed, so that revenue has been reduced. Liquid fuels, we've seen alone that traffic on the turnpike is down over 50%. People are traveling less, purchasing less gasoline, therefore that funding could it be expected to be reduced also. So the county will be facing some challenges as we move into surely the next fiscal year, if not later into this year in some regards. This past Saturday, we did start receiving the COVID geo data from the Department of Health. It is and has been placed into our 911 system. The information we were provided were the addresses to include the county. So we have county, house number, street, municipality, and zip code. Our director of the 911 center has established the protocol to ensure that that information is held and protected, so it's not unnecessarily transmitted or passed out, yet ensuring the first responders and those who have authority to receive that information are provided it when they are dispatched into our community. Commissioner Arner mentioned the governor's signature of 841, Senate Bill 841, and that is given us the options that Commissioner Arner did discuss, and we ourselves are having those internal conversations to reconcile the challenges that we will have budget-wise, plus meeting the needs of the residents, given the dire situation that some will, of course, be in. In regards to emergency management, had a very good week of continuing to help fulfill the PPE needs of our first responders. Just received an update that we did issue another 920 masks, another 11 boxes of gloves, another 90 gowns, 24 face shields, 24 Tyvek suits, and an additional 24 more gallons of disinfectant. So there is not a need that we have received that has not been fulfilled by our emergency management personnel. And in addition to continuing the distribution of PPE as it's needed, the emergency management director and staff did canvass once again the 10 long-term facilities in Carbon County to check their statuses. And they'll continue to do that on a weekly basis. Now, I'll give one last comment is the Paycheck Protection Program. While it is awaiting the next tranche, JTNB, Jim Thorpe Neighborhood Bank, and Mock Chunk Trust Company did want me to inform the public and those who might benefit from that they are standing by for that subsequent tranche of money. To date, a little update, $9.5 million have been approved and funded for those who went to JTNB and Mock Chunk Trust Company. There's another $2.5 million of approved potential uses that are pending, awaiting that next tranche. And they'll continue to update us. I want to thank Mock Chunk Trust and Jim Thorpe Neighborhood for their continued support to our small businesses. That's all I have.
I guess, does anybody else need any?
No further
Comments?
business.
Meeting is adjourned.
Take it away. All right. So, non-coronavirus related, there's a motion made for the water system with the prison. Is there, what's like the update with that situation?
I guess we're more or less just putting it on bid right now to get the figures. I mean, it's something that we're gonna do. I mean, it has to be done. It's one of those things that we're, I can't say it was left go, but it's time to do something.
Is it the whole, like, remind me again, the whole water system?
Well,
Like,
yeah, it's just the well, it involves the well and some of the piping and, valves and what's all involved in that.
All right, cool. And then as far as this new food bank that you guys are gonna do, like the county-wide one, how is that food, where's the food coming from, Second Harvest?
Yeah,
still?
it'll come through Second Harvest, and I'm not positive on this, I can get it for you, but I think through the new federal program, Second Harvest actually got $600-some thousand from the federal government to help with some of these programs, so we're gonna take advantage of it. And it's sort of spun off from our food banks, but I wanna keep that a little bit separate, because, we were always feeding the underprivileged, or the people that need it. And now the people that need it are the ones that are laid off. And we want to try and get to them. And once they get their payback, and get operating and going back to work, then we can come back to our normal working of the food banks. Because right now there's no way that you can go, in fact, Palmerton has gone from, I think, 85 to 205 families. Okay, Jim Thorpe has gone from 75 to 243. So we're doubling and tripling our amounts, and you can't handle it where it's at. So we figure we do an off-site thing, and that what I mentioned there is not the school districts. I mean, I hope that doesn't come out there. It's like Lehighton area residents, Palmerton area residents, and that's what we want to do. Now, some of my Jim Thorpe is going to be doing theirs at Memorial Hall. And I'm looking into Palmerton and Lehighton for at their schools, and as well as Weatherly. So they will, and that's where we can accommodate keeping traffic off of the road, and that was the thing, I think, when they came to Jim Thorpe and they had the pantry, it was like crazy there, and they had an accident, and it's like, that street you can't really drive on in the first place under normal traffic. So we're trying to get it out in a safe area and reach out to everybody that we can.
Do you have specifics on like all the locations, or is that still details that are being worked out?
Well, I'm trying to work that out, and it's not really the location. I think the locations will be all right. It's just our food to line it up. I have to line freezer trucks up because what we're going to do, they make boxes up already like I had here before. So you're going to have a box like that, and then you're going to have maybe 1 or 2 packages of meat. And it's just you're getting it off of the truck. We're not unloading. We're just going to drive to one side to the next side and keep going like that. And that eliminates the work for everybody. I mean, we're going to probably wind up, we could feed 2,000-3,000 people like that in a couple days. And if you do it on site, you only have the capacity to do 100 at a time. So this is a good idea. And I did talk to Lehighton School already. They're on board. And like I said, Memorial Hall, I have a phone call into the other schools. And they've been pretty good with everything. I mean, I would say we could use their facilities.
And so you said it's going to be like 2 days a week, Friday and Saturday?
Well, we had somebody donate $6,000 for a truck, and it was to use this, and it was actually that is it the Carbon County Community Group, and they gave us enough money to possibly whatever we have to do with trucks. And what I'd like to do is get a truck for like a week and then just span it out, because it costs us a couple $1,000s to get trucks, refrigerated trucks. So I'd like to do it within 1 week. Do one a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Monday, Tuesday. But I like to but they are still going to do their regular, the Shepherd House is still going to do their regular banks. So I got to sort of like work it around that way a little bit, that their day is not the same day that they have their food bank. And like I said, I want to keep it separate, that when this all comes back to order, that they have their normal customers that we normally serve through the county.
So like each day, Friday, whatever the days are, would
Yeah.
be a different area.
Yeah, yeah, and probably like next week, I think next week Lehighton will be Friday, Jim Thorpe will be Friday, and then Palmer will be Saturday. I mean, don't post that yet, but
Right,
that's what
yeah.
I'm planning at. And then Weatherly and the other one, either it'll be in the beginning of the week or that Thursday or Friday, Saturday of the following week. Then we pretty much hit everybody, and they're all going to get fair. I mean, they told us down there at Second Harvest we can have whatever we want. So we're going to take whatever we want.
So I guess next week we'll probably have more specifics as far as like time.
Yeah, I probably by tomorrow it'll probably be more, because hopefully they'll all call us back and how we're going to set up, how we're going to deliver. And I actually have people lined up to drive the trucks already. So I have volunteers for that. So hopefully everything. And if anybody wants to volunteer, they can certainly volunteer. We're wearing our regular food banks out. I mean, and I said most of them are retired, and I can't commend them as much as what they do, but I don't want to wear them out. I mean, we have to get other volunteers, and if anybody wants to step up, they can call me here. All right.
Cool. And then the only other thing, I know it was just last night that the governor announced this color-coded phase reopening plan that he has. And obviously it's going to kind of go county by county. So have you had discussions, any idea of where carbon might fall? And it's going to start May 8th, targeted date, but...
Well, May 8th, the targeted date. Well, he did give details of metrics in regards to the red, yellow, green, kind of the stoplight system he's going to use. According to him, the 8th is a very limited opening, primarily construction focused. And I think in the question and answer period, some concerns were raised about the vacuum you create when you open in one area and keep other areas restricted. As you know, Alyssa, we are surrounded by very high incident rates, whereas we have a relatively low, knock on wood, thank the good Lord, where we stand with this. So I think we're going to have a notable challenge here if we continue to go the progression that we have, because of the I don't want to use the term the minimal impact, but the relative minimal impact compared to others. So we're going to have some significant challenges, even when the data comes out, saying how we're really going to measure any type of opening.
Yeah, because that's kind of what I was wondering. I don't know,
Yeah.
if you guys even know yet, but if the governor directs like the county to, open, what your role is, can you like kind of say like, not yet, or?
Well, we don't have authority over
Yeah.
private businesses. We have no
No.
resolutions or ordinances that are written that, outside of what we had that would restrict that. Nor can the governor direct the business to open. Right, he can restrict it. He can't force it to open from what I understand of his authority. There has to be a decision made by that business owner. And I do know, and you'll see it nationwide, business individuals in states that are already relaxing, such as Texas and Florida, are deciding not to reopen, although they may have the authority, out of their individual concerns for the health and safety and welfare of workers and individuals who might use their services.
And I watched it last night too, and it's like a little bit vague when they first come out with
Yeah.
everything. They have it that it's going to be barber shops and blah, 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 the whole
Mhm.
9 yards. And then when they asked the question, is barber shops going to be involved? And
Yeah.
they said no.
Mhm.
Like what is actually our guidelines? I think for us to maybe even take action, or even the businesses, there has to be guidelines set. We don't even know what's there. And I think, as Chris had talked for a resolution, the only thing that we can really make a resolution is if we're going to alter the taxes. There we can make a resolution. The other things were just the business, and we're just following the guidelines.
I think that's it.
And is that all you have? And we do have, I guess you got this, Chris, did you get the one from Kelly and Amy?
Yeah, I responded to Amy, and we're going to call Kelly afterwards on a
Okay.
sidebar and
All
bring
right.
Gary Williams in.
Yeah, and one of these, I don't know if anybody really wanted to explain it like this. They wanted to know like the Pine Brook action. That's for our reentry program. I
Right.
mean, it's not, basically that's what it is. We're trying to put this reentry program into work, and they're going to administrate this for us.
Right. So,
and,
yeah.
and then the other one was about our MOU, the AFSCME. I don't know if you wanted to explain that a little bit on
Yeah.
on how that's
That was the
gonna work.
memorandum we signed with the union in regards to a $10 per contact that will be paid to 19 members of that particular AFSCME union. That includes 2 LPNs at the hospital. And again, you can phrase it as a hazard pay, a contact pay, but it's because of some of the increased risks they will take, primarily adult and juvenile probation, and then the 2 LPNs as they intake new inmates in the prison. And the memorandum of agreement Commissioner Arner was referring to was with Pine Brook, and that is a continuation and expansion of a Pine Brook program which they resource through funding that they secure, called Leaving Jail, a comprehensive regional reentry program for women in rural communities. And the primary goal is to continue to reduce recidivism among women, and that will be in 3 counties that they continue to run that program: Carbon, Lehigh, and Northampton.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions?
No.
That's it. See you next week.